This is the Play Your Position podcast, where we huddle up, call the plays, and inspire you to run your ball into the end zone. Are you ready to score more game-winning touchdowns in your life, business, and career? Then listen up, because it's game time, baby. Now, here's your host, Mary Lou Kaiser.
Lately, I've been laughing a lot on Zoom calls with new friends, people I've met because of the pandemic. Since lockdown started in March 2020, 331 days ago or so as of this recording, if you can believe that, I have made many new friends through this podcast, through workshops I've attended, and through programs I've been teaching. I am currently actively involved with 3 online cohorts of like-minded people who all share a passion for personal growth and self-education, who share a passion for learning how to navigate the world through a keyboard, different platforms and apps, all while maintaining our dignity as real people who live in a 3D life, not a 2-dimensional life, the way the internet reduces us to. Friendship is supposed to be fun, which is one of the reasons I'm enjoying my new friends as much as I am, because we laugh, we poke fun at ourselves, we don't take ourselves too seriously, and we all know at some fundamental level that this current situation will evolve into something else. It will get better. One day we will get to meet in person and have a new version of fun that will feel more like being human again. In the meantime, though, we carry on with what's available to us. And for now, what's available to us is Zoom and other video conferencing platforms. It works, and given the alternative, I'll take it. When friendship loses its fun factor, that's a sign worth paying attention to. I'm not referring to a temporary loss of fun because of outside circumstances. Let's face it, being yippy-skippy when the thought of not having any toilet paper for a couple of weeks wasn't exactly a thing anybody was celebrating. You're going to have days and sometimes weeks when life isn't rosy, when life is messy, when you're feeling blue. These times, for most of us, eventually end, and some recover faster than others. Honestly, it cannot be cloudy all the time. And with respect to friendship, you've got to have more fun days than boring days, or as my mom loves to say, more days with sunshine than rain. But when the clouds open up, true friends are right there with us. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that this year I'm exploring what it takes to succeed in a complex 21st century world. What do we need to have in our toolbox to navigate a life that seems to be changing constantly? Outside of the obvious tech skills and a Wi-Fi connection, the themes I'm throwing in here may not be as obvious, but are certainly as important. One of the themes for February is friendship. And I don't know what I'd have done these last 10 months if I hadn't had friends I could send funny memes to over text, jump on a Zoom call with just to say hi, and feel like we were connecting, even a virtual shoulder to cry on when life felt like it was too much. That's what friends are for, yes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the fun. So when the fun starts to fade, or it disappears altogether from a friendship, that's often a sign that either something is temporarily up, or something is permanently changing. Losing a friend because they have decided to move on sucks. I mean, it really, really sucks. I am not going to lie. I have been on both ends of that spectrum. I've been left and I have done the leaving. What I know for sure is that friendship cannot be a one-way street. For friendship to work, it has to be two-sided. It may not always be even, but if you are the friend who is always giving, always making the plans, and the other is always canceling or has become an energy vampire, sucking every ounce of joy from you, it's time to do something about it. Now, some friendships naturally fade with time. In episode 352, for example, I talked about friendships of proximity that happen through work, through geography, like moms or dads making friends with their kids' friends' parents. I feel lucky to still have a couple of mom friends from that season of my life. I have a mom friend of one of my daughter's friends and a mom of one of my son's friends. And despite the fact that we no longer live close to each other and the kids have long since left home, we have stayed in touch. We have continued the friendship, and the friendship has survived. But the one-sided friendships, they are a different beast altogether. I have a story I want to share about being the one on the one side of that equation. It happened when I was a freshman in college. Some of you know I grew up in New York and attended college in the state of Washington, where I knew no one. I was 3,000 miles away from home. On the day I landed, there happened to be a girl at baggage claim who was from Los Angeles and was also an incoming freshman. We had arrived a week before official orientation to attend Greek Rush. She was far more gung-ho about joining a sorority than I was. My mom had convinced me that going out to see about the sororities at my school wasn't a bad idea, that even if I didn't pledge a house, I would still meet some girls and even make some friends. And even though my heart wasn't into being in a sorority and I knew I wanted to be independent and live in the dorm, I heeded my mom's advice and went to Greek Rush. Now, this girl's parents had flown with her, and they invited me to join them for a meal and also drive me to campus. Seriously, it was like a scene out of a Reese Witherspoon movie. Girls from opposite coasts meet at the airport and become instant friends, both from big metropolitan areas, both cute and sophisticated, both attending a small private liberal arts college thousands of miles away from home. One girl's parents' friendliness and generosity immediately extended to the girl who traveled alone. Oh, it was great. And she was great. We took a liking to each other immediately and hung out throughout Rush Week, comparing notes, doing some of the activities that they had built in. And when the sororities finally extended their offers to all us girls at the end of the week, the only sorority that didn't invite me back was the one she joined. 5 out of the 6 sororities at my college wanted me to be a part of them, and the only one I wanted was the one who rejected me, mostly because that was the one she joined. I struggled with that. If I was going to be in a sorority, I wanted it to be that one. Fast forward, we continued to hang out during freshman year. I did not join a house and instead lived in an independent dorm. I joined the crew team, which was its own form of a sister brotherhood, one I loved very, very much. And this friend, she would invite me occasionally to have lunch with her at her sorority house on Greek Row, which I loved because the sorority house was this cool old house, 3 stories, clapboard siding. It just reminded me of the East Coast, which is part of why I think I was drawn to it. And the irony was, every time I went there to have lunch with her, I had bitterness in my heart because they had rejected me. They had not wanted me to be one of them. And I wasn't mature enough yet to see how my attitude about not getting an offer to join her sorority was actually eroding her interest in being my friend and being around me. By sophomore year, she began to pull away, finding excuses not to meet up with me. The lunch invitation stopped. I did not want to let go, though. Like I said, losing a friend sucks, especially when that friend has been an instrumental part of your life you aren't ready to move on from yet. And as she moved on, I clung to what I remembered from the beginning. All right, I had this romanticized, again, Reese Witherspoon, buddy film type image in my head. 2 girls from opposite coasts meeting by chance at the SeaTac baggage claim and forming a fast friendship, on and on and on. Classic case of friendship by proximity. College is like that, so is high school, and like I said, work and neighborhoods or schools. Once you have children who get involved in all kinds of activities and put you in contact with other people who are raising kids the same age as yours too. I vaguely remember seeing her at graduation. We lost touch as soon as our cap and gowns were folded up and off we went. Decades passed, and then Facebook showed up, and we did connect again. Neither of us is very active on that platform, and every now and then she shows up in my newsfeed. But Again, time has a funny way of, we move on, we form new friendships. And I talked about Facebook. I've talked about Facebook quite a bit on this show because it is a thing and it is part of a lot of our lives. Whether you choose to be on it or not, it's still a part of your life because people in your life are on it. And I have long since moved on from the hurt I felt when she pulled away our sophomore year. But I recognize that losing a friendship is very real every single day for a lot of people. So if you are someone who is in that position where someone you once thought of as a friend is showing signs of moving on, they're not returning your texts, they've stopped engaging with you on the socials, they've even unfriended you or blocked you on the socials, which, ouch, that is brutal. I've experienced that. And, even as a mature woman, it's like, that stings a little. And it's not about me and it's not about you, the person who is doing the unfriending. It's about them. It's about where their head is at. My suggestion here, allow them the grace to go. As hard as that is, when we can get into the headspace of allowing people to do what they need to do, understand they have their reasons. And again, honestly, those reasons are not about you, even though it may feel like it is all about you, especially in the moment, right? My experience has taught me that sometimes friendships run their course. New jobs, marriage, divorce, children, moving away. Sometimes there's no apparent reason at all. That's at the heart of why someone decides the friendship is over. Life has some mystery still. That's one of them sometimes. And, we can come up with all kinds of explanations and try to trick ourselves or cling like I did. Oh my gosh, I just was so reluctant to see that friendship change, and knowing that she was pulling away made me in some ways want to hold on even tighter, which is never, ever a good place to be. Oh, it is not a good place to be. What I can say is allow yourself to grieve the loss when a friendship ends, not grieving, trying to skip that part. Again, take it from me, not a good idea. It is going to come back in another way and haunt you. Trust me. I went through this when I did not grieve a loss, when I should have grieved a loss, and it came back to me. Oh my gosh, it affected my life in so many ways. And I didn't realize that was what was affecting me. And as soon as somebody helped me see that that's what I needed to do, everything opened up again. And I felt this tremendous relief because I let go. Be kind to yourself. Tell yourself how amazing you are, that you are an amazing friend. Sometimes you can tell yourself it's their loss. Great, they've moved on. They lost because you are awesome. And you will move on to new people. You will make new friends who will appreciate having you in their lives, who share your values, who support you and allow you to support them too, and ultimately allow you to be who you are. In a complicated world, we need our friends as much as they need us, even if it is only for a season or two. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk about the most important relationship you'll ever have in your life. But until then, I encourage you to reach out to a friend today and let them know you're thinking about them for no other reason than because you are. Friendship is supposed to be fun. And I found a quote. I'm going to share it with you. It's going to wrap things up for today. And I really like this because I thought, I have friends like this. Here's what it says. It's a quote. It says, "I want to be the reason you look down at your phone and smile, then walk into a pole." Here's to having those kinds of friends who have us walk into a pole and forgetting the rest. This is Mary Lou Kayser. Thanks so much for listening to another episode. Remember, it is always a great day to get out there and play your position and walk into a pole or two. See you next time.
Got a great key offensive strategy you like to share? Write to us at coach@pyppodcast.com or on Twitter, use hashtag PYP and let us know how you're running your ball into the end zone for those game-winning touchdowns.